We have Jennifer Pickett from the National Association of Senior Move Managers, and she is the co-executive director. And I welcome her because she's an amazing woman to know, or people in her organization that she has are a great asset to real estate agents across the nation. This is a national certification. She's going to go over the education process and talk about that, but she's going to talk about the components of what a national association, a senior move manager does. And we'll break it down to you. It's really interesting to hear the education that goes behind it in the classes that are being taught and that they're taking. And by the way, Deborah, you're welcome. I see Deborah saying thank you. She oversees the day-to-day operations for NASMM. She does the membership guides, marketing, the development, promotion, products, programming, and services, and education. She comes in and talks about it. So welcome, Jennifer. We appreciate it. Eve Hill, myself, I'm Heather Brooks. There's Eve Hill. And we have Amy Roberts. I think she's somewhere out here too, as well.
She's there.
Yes, and we welcome you. Thank you so much for coming. Jennifer, take it away.
All right, good. Well,
Just
not
go.
technologically savvy so much, but definitely savvy about move management. So thanks everyone for joining us tonight. I hope that your weather is nice. I'm outside of Detroit and it's a balmy like 4 degrees right now. So
I can't hear anything on here. Or am I?
yeah. So let's I want to talk to you a little bit about senior move management and about the National Association of Senior and Specialty Move Managers and opportunities for you as realtors, as well as opportunities if this is a business that you're interested in adding on to your current business. So let me talk to you a little bit about NASMM. NASMM, or about senior move management. Senior move management is a profession that assists older adults with the emotional and physical aspects of relocation and or staying in place. Senior move management professionals, which are known as senior move managers, have a variety of backgrounds that have come to this profession. Early on, back in the early 2000s, it was a lot of nurses, social workers, senior living professionals, psychologists, and those people had started to come into this profession. But what we have seen in the last probably 5 to 7 years are people coming from the world of project management, interior design, organizing, what else? Marketing, people who have owned other small businesses, maybe home healthcare agencies, things like that. Then they have a sincere desire to work with older adults and provide meaningful work. So about NASMM. Making the move at any age is difficult and stressful, right? Whoops, what just happened here? Like I said, not technologically savvy. Let me go back. Screen sharing. Sorry, so sorry.
The one comment that did come in was exactly what we're planning to talk about, which is a person who wants to learn how to help people who have lived in their homes for 20 plus years and how to handle moving and downsizing, which is the bread and butter of what you do, or is what you do. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Just trying to shrink my screen a little bit, because y'all are covering my notes. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Okay. So, all right. So back to what I was saying is that, making a move at any age is difficult and stressful. And recognizing and managing the stress of older adults is really the hallmark of what we do at the National Association of Senior and Specialty Move Managers. Our members' abilities to successfully manage transitions while helping older adults and their families through the downsizing and relocation process, makes the move from their home to their new residence stress-free. A little bit about our history. We were founded in 2002 by a small group of senior move managers who found themselves in an internet chat room. So that tells you how old that is. And since their first meeting in the living room of who would become NASMM's founding president in Philadelphia, the association has grown to over 1,000 companies in the past 20 years. We have members throughout the United States, Canada, the UK, South Africa, New Zealand, Australia. So we're constantly growing and adding. We probably add roughly, I don't know, 5 to 10 members every week, and our retention level is about at 85%. We're a trade association. We are a 501c6 nonprofit trade association, which means that our membership is by company, not by individual. So as an association, we work to increase the visibility of the profession while providing education, advocacy, marketing support, and standards of practices in senior move management operations and client services. The terms senior move manager and senior move management are registered trademarks of the National Association of Senior Move Managers. So only members of the National Association of Senior Move Managers can call themselves senior move managers. In 2020, we expanded our name while everyone was pivoting during COVID. We did too. And we expanded our name from the National Association of Senior Move Managers to the National Association of Senior and Specialty Move Managers. This change reflects the kind of work that our members do. And while the lion's share of what our members do is working with older adults, our members do work with those individuals who have special needs. And those could be divorcing clients, those could be military moves, people with disabilities. We did a lot of college moves during COVID as well. NASMM has strict membership requirements. Everyone who joins NASMM joins as what we call a provisional member. Provisional members are required to take courses that focus on core competencies in senior move management, and those include safety, ethics and accountability, understanding the moving industry, and contracts and liability. Now, these courses do not teach you how to open a senior move management business, but they do focus on core competencies, which as an organization, we want everybody on the same page. We have people who come to us, straight off the turnip truck. They helped their, aunt move, and they thought that they were inventing the greatest profession on the face of the earth. And then they do a little research and realize that there's an entire industry that is supported by our organization. So we have people that are joining who, don't even have a name. And we have people who have established businesses who have been doing move management, but are now recognized the importance of becoming a NASMM member, or those with established businesses who are adding move management on to their current business. So in addition to those 4 courses, our members also have to have proof of general business liability insurance at a minimum. And they have a link to a live website that highlights their move management services. So once a provisional member meets our requirements, the NASMM member becomes a full, what we call professional member, and is listed on our website. So only our fully vetted professional members are listed on our website. So at any time, there are probably, 1,000 members who are on the website, and there's probably another, 120 to 200 who are in process of becoming professional members. So as I said, once they meet all of our requirements, their listing reflects on the Find a Move Manager section of our website. We offer both a state-by-state search and a zip code search. Our website receives a minimum of 12,000 unique visitors each month, with an average visit lasting over 4 minutes, which is about 3 times longer than an average visit. We estimate that our members conducted over 300,000 moves in the last year, which generated a gross income of over $1.5 billion. We also offer a certification for senior move managers. And this is where sometimes it gets a little confusing. We don't want to confuse certification with membership. NASMM is first and foremost a membership organization. Certification is something that can be earned, but is not granted. We feel as an organization that providing a certification that is based on working with older adults without mandating exactly experience is just not responsible. So the NASMM Senior Move Manager Certified, which we call the SMMC, is the only certification program that is exclusively designed for senior move managers. It is the only credential based upon both knowledge and experience. Senior move managers who pursue certification have successfully completed 9 rigorous competency-based courses and can provide proof of 40 invoiced senior moves. We are the only certification program for senior move managers that is offered by a professional, not-for-profit trade association. We also offer an accreditation program. We launched this in 2014. It is the only organizational accreditation program for senior move management. It's called the NASMM A+ accreditation. And remember, NASMM is a trade association, and the organization, not the individuals, is the member. So in trade associations, organizational accreditation functions as the highest standard of professional achievement. The NASMM A+ organizational accreditation program recognizes our members for achieving a high level of competency in senior move management through demonstrated best practices in senior move management client services and business management, coupled with industry contributions. An organization receiving this designation has put itself through a rigorous peer review process. And the accredited company has demonstrated to a team of reviewers that its commitment to offering programs and services that are measurable, accountable, and of the highest quality. Roughly 15% of our members are currently accredited with another 10% in process. And the reason that's why is that, as I said earlier, it's a very rigorous process. It is largely developed based on our members' policies and procedures. And what we find with our members, and you may see this yourselves in your own businesses, is that when it comes to policies and procedures, you have a lot of things rattling around in your head, but they never make it to paper. Our accreditation, we have provided our members with what we call our best practices, which are the standards, and then the evidence that's required to meet those standards. And there are, oh my gosh, just dozens of standards. So it's a very, very, it's an important process for our members. The members that have gone through it have really amped up their businesses. And what we're starting to see right now are a lot of move managers who are selling their businesses. And this accreditation is certainly adding value to their businesses because it adds, obviously more concrete backbone to their current infrastructure.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Sort of based on a question that came into the chat. So we're talking about, first, we're provisional members. First, we're provisional. And then to become professional members, we need to prove 40 moves.
No. Okay. Yeah, that's where it gets
I'm
messy.
confused. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So remember, NASMM is a membership organization first and foremost. And I know realtors love all those letters behind their names. So when you come to NASMM, you are joining NASMM as a provisional member. Once you take the cornerstone courses, show proof of general business liability insurance, and have a link to a live website, then you are promoted to professional membership. From there, you can pursue certification. The certification is separate from membership, and it is optional. We have right now probably almost 400 individuals who are certified, with another, I don't know, maybe 300 in process. It's very popular. To become certified, you need to purchase the application. There is a certification bundle that you have to take. And there is, within the application, there is a spreadsheet that you have to download and complete that itemizes or documents your moves. There's nothing on that spreadsheet that is super identifying, just the client's last name and a zip code, basically the dates of the move, the hours that you were on the move, and the services that you provided. Then you submit that, it's reviewed. If everything is kosher in place, then you become certified. You're certified for 3 years. You renew after 3 years. There is a continuing education requirement of 45 continuing education credits that you have to earn over the 3 years. And that, and those 25 of the 45 credits need to come from NASMM programs. The rest of the credits can come from other like-minded organizations. Perhaps you've gone to a continuity of care meeting, or the Alzheimer's Association had a workshop. There's all sorts of different ways that you can earn the balance of the CEs. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, thanks. That helps a lot to know that you can become a professional before you've done those moves.
Exactly. You
Thank
can
you.
start working on certification, even before you have those 40 moves. It doesn't preclude you from taking the courses and things like that, so that when you have the 40 moves, purchase the application and submit. So senior move management, why now and not before? One of the things that we see that we know is that death, divorce, and moving are the most stressful transitions in anyone's life. And so making the decision to move at an advanced age is generally surrounded by intense feelings of loss and fear, and sometimes even guilt. And then you couple this with the other realities. Many families are geographically dispersed, and the adult children are not necessarily able to help with the moving process because of their own careers, maybe because of where they live and their own family obligations. We're still talking very much about the sandwich generation. But if your parents are in their early 70s, you're probably in your late 40s, you still have kids at home. I mean, this is a huge thing to try to manage when you're, running kids to, football practice and things like that. So, and the other thing that we know is that there are many seniors that don't have any surviving children, or increasingly, because people are living longer, their children are older adults themselves. And if illness or death has precipitated the move, the family is most likely already completely drained, both emotionally and physically, and they need help. And senior move managers have emerged to fill these gaps and to facilitate the transition for everyone involved. All righty, where am I? The growth. Here we go. Okay, so why the growth of senior move management? Well, the numbers tell the story. 10,000 baby boomers are turning 65 every day for the next 16 years. That's potential market over 69 million customers. Our vantage points are similar. With the very first baby boomers turning 77 this year, we are still another 3 to 5 years away from hitting critical mass with older adults needing to downsize. Elders represent the fastest growing age group in the United States. It's projected that the 75 plus population will increase by 70% by 2025, so in 2 years. Also, the changing work and living patterns of adult children. Women comprise 47% of the US workforce. 66 million women are employed in the US. 73% of employed women work full time. About 7 million caregivers are in the United States. And 15% of all caregivers are long distance caregivers. And that number is projected to double, this within the 2020s. Additionally, women are having children later in life and are now responsible for caring for both their own children and aging parents. And there's also a lot more, housing options. And, we have the traditional housing options, which are, continuing care retirement communities, which include both independent assisted and nursing care. But you're also starting to see things like supportive living, which is like assisted living with Medicaid waivers, more 55 plus communities. And then the physical and emotional obstacles in later life transitions, loss of cognitive functions, loss of physical abilities, and then loss of perhaps spouses or friends, driving privileges. So, it's no wonder that it's the physical and emotional transitions where the home makes it, where it's no longer safe for the older adult and to reside in that area.
It's interesting that you say that, because one of the things in the aging in place area, we talk about how we make homes safer. However, when you look at our nation's housing units, less than 10% can actually accommodate somebody with a mobility issue. Literally, less than 10% of the entire nation's housing units can actually accommodate somebody that has a mobility issue, like a walker, just a walker.
Yep.
You can't get through a doorway in most homes. And when you look at when most homes were actually built, they were built, and then, between and then the 1970s. I mean, if you look at we're not just us are aging in this way that you're talking about, but so are our homes, and it's no different.
Yep, exactly.
So, it goes hand in hand. So
For
I
sure.
get it. And it's only going to get,
get worse.
out. Yeah, because
It's only going to get worse. I mean, we don't need to get into a policy discussion right now, but we all know that nothing is being done about services for aging. And the only services that are out there right now are for low income, and those services are really not effective. They're you work at a senior center and your job all day is pushing referrals to other people who may not be able to afford the services. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, move management is not a service that everyone can afford. And that's heartbreaking. There are a lot of senior move managers that will do some pro bono moves. We've got some that are starting some nonprofit move management organizations, which is really exciting and encouraging. But right now, in today's day and age, it's just not a service that that low income folks can afford. So going back to what do senior move managers do, which was sort of the initial topic of this presentation. I mean, they are project managers and they are confidants. They are advocates for their client. This is a very personal relationship. Senior move management is a relationship-based profession. We joke about this at NASMM, but when's the last time you were in your mom or dad's underwear drawers, or even more frightening, their bedside table drawers? This is a business that's based on trust. And senior move management is a high touch, high harm profession. And what I mean by that is that senior move managers are working with a client at a very delicate time in their life. A move that goes poorly can deeply affect a client. And if there is the onset of mild dementia or chronic illness, the stress associated with a poorly handled move can dramatically affect the health of the client. There is a clinical psychiatric diagnosis called relocation stress and transition trauma. And this occurs when a client's move is not handled properly, which can result in the client not being successful in their new living environment. But it can also cause so much stress that the onset of any type of illness, it could cause death. I mean, we really, really are working with a very fragile, a fragile population. I mean, here's the fact. I mean, we know moving at any age is stressful, but the reality is that nobody wakes up after being in their home for 40 years and says, honey, let's move. I mean, something has happened to precipitate this transition. And aging in so many ways is about loss. I mean, it could be the loss of a spouse, loss of physical or cognitive abilities, loss of friends. And in so many ways, our stuff is what defines us. When older adults who are already experiencing different degrees of loss are now faced with losing their home and their things, it is not uncommon for that older adult to basically draw a line in the sand and say, I'm not moving. Because in so many ways, our stuff defines us and it weighs us down. But it is the fabric of our memories. And I think that when you get to that point, you can, let's say Mrs. Jones has, gone to, ABC's senior living community with her daughter and has had lunch and done the tour. And now they're back at the marketing director's office and she's bringing out the glossy brochures and showing the apartments that are available. And Mrs. Jones says, this was really lovely. I've had a lovely time, but I'm not ready. And what has just happened is that Mrs. Jones, while she knows that moving to ABC Senior Living would be fantastic, she has just become completely overwhelmed with the process of getting out of her home, getting rid of her things, and getting moved. And so at that point, the marketing director can say, well, Mrs. Jones, Susie Snowflake, senior move manager, is who we recommend. You can call her and, she can come over and help you work through this. Susie Snow, move manager, comes over and meets with Mrs. Smith and, says, why don't we start doing this a room at a time so that it doesn't necessarily have to be an all or nothing proposition, right? The other thing that is, that we're experiencing is that our younger generations, so your Gen Xers, your millennials, they have grown up in a Target and IKEA generation, and they're not emotionally attached to their things. They're not big collectors. They're more about experiences. If they purchased a bookshelf for $45 3 years ago and it no longer meets their needs, it's off to a thrift store or it's in the trash. So this is another problem for older adults as they try to navigate the downsizing process, especially if they're trying to do it themselves. So, what senior move managers do is help with clients part with possessions without parting with memories. And this is not a science. This is an art. Let me give you an example. Let's go back to Mrs. Jones, our client. Let's say she has a teapot collection. How do we handle this or any type of collection? So a move manager would most likely ask the client about her collection. What was special about it, where she got it from, who she was with, that type of thing. I mean, listening to the client is, it is one of the most important parts about being a move manager. And then from there, the move manager might enlist a family member to photograph the collection and record stories about each piece. From there, the move manager might encourage the client to select maybe 5 of her favorite pieces. Those pieces would make the move with her. But the photos and the stories could be preserved in a digital format, or they could do something creative like, take the photos down to a Walgreens and make a poster of the photos. The full collection could be turned into a photo book, something that they could have in their new residence. For our members, the client is the person who is in transition, not necessarily the person who's paying the bill. Senior move managers want to work with the entire family to support the client, because not only is this stressful for the older adult, but it's also important to understand the stress that this puts on adult children. Loss of the family home for adult children is also traumatic, and that stress that can occur can cause some unique family dynamics. So senior move managers are an objective, third-party, trusted resource who can guide the family through this journey. We hear all of the time about, maybe a older adult whose daughter, lives close and has been, taking care of all of this. And now, they've called this family meeting and it's time to, really get serious about mom moving. And, she says, I've done this research, this is where mom wants to go. And I've hired a senior move manager. And then, one of the family members goes, wait a minute. We can do that. Okay. We know that we cannot downsize 48 years in a home in 48 hours. It's just not responsible. It's not practical. If you think that you're going to bring a dumpster in and just start throwing things away, you are doing more damage than you can possibly know. And that's why senior move managers are so important, because they can guide the family. They have the resources. They understand that you can't show up at ABC Senior Living Community with an 18-wheeler. It's not just Mrs. Jones that's moving in to ABC Senior Living Community. It's the 350 other residents that live there. And I will tell you that with COVID, that really, really shook the senior living community to its core. And now many senior living communities require move managers to help with this process, because they have processes and procedures in place. They have COVID safety and prevention strategies in place. They understand what the community's requirements are for COVID, and recognize that we not only have to protect our client that's moving in, but we have to respect and protect the other 350 clients and the staff that works with them. So again, with, more about what move managers do, most companies are full service. So they help clients with all or most parts of moving. This could include planning and preparing for the move, definitely developing floor plans, helping prepare the client's home for sale. That's what comes in really handy for realtors. Scheduling and overseeing movers, handling the donations, shipping items to family members, arranging for storage. If there's an estate sale or, online auction, handling that. But full service does not mean that they handle all of these services themselves. Many will coordinate the things like, well, obviously, handyman services, staging, cleaning services, recommending a realtor to help move the home or sell the home. So they are, they are referring out to other partners, but they are physically providing direct services to the client when it comes to developing the overall move plan, organizing, sorting, and downsizing, developing the customized floor plans. I mean, that's a really critical part, because once we know what's going to fit, then the process of what's not going to fit kind of crystallizes. And then, obviously arranging for the profitable disposal of unwanted items. And there's a lot of different ways that they can do that. Sometimes it's junk, sometimes it's, shipping to the niece in Baltimore. Sometimes there's liquidation. If they're doing donations, they will be itemizing all of that and handling that for you for tax purposes. Online auctions are becoming very, very popular. So they will do all of that. When I talk about, subcontracting or partnering with organizations, one of the big ways where they partner is to coordinate the entire process, but they don't pack. Instead, they label, sort, label, and oversee the movers who do the actual packing. Obviously hiring a junk removal company to assist with hauling away unwanted items, or contracting with a cleaning company to clean the house once the move is completed. These are all things that move managers will generally outsource. They're part of their referral network, where it's sort of the move manager is kind of in the center, and then we spoke out to other services. I want to touch on the packing, because it is important. If a senior move managers pack, if they do offer packing services, it is essential that they are properly insured. If they pack they work with a reputable moving company, and they will supervise the packing to ensure a smooth, load, unload to protect the safety of the client. You simply just cannot prop doors, leave boxes and packing material lying around that could cause a safety issue for your client. Additionally, like items like medication, a coffee pot, a favorite chair will either not be packed or will be the last thing on the truck so that the client will have immediate access during the unload. And senior move managers will completely resettle the client in their new home, from organizing the kitchen to hanging the art, window treatments, reconnecting the electronics, transferring the utilities. And as I said, they can provide related services to assist with the sale of the home. So what makes moving? Oh,
What I love is the concierge service to this for clients. But one of the things I know is that they want somebody to take pictures at one of the moves. So when they recreated the move after going into the new apartment or to the new place, it was Amy Roberts' parents. It was exactly recreated the exact same way. And she could tell you.
And that's very common. That's where the space planning comes in. I mean, if they've had an arrangement of photos behind the couch for the last 40 years, they're going to try to recreate as much of that as possible if that's what the client wants. If they're moving into some of those more snazzy high-end communities, sometimes we see that they're just getting rid of everything and buying all new. So but that's where the process of the sorting, the downsizing, the move manager is, they do a home inventory. When you're working with older clients, it's not uncommon to get a phone call 2 days later that says, you didn't bring my, whatever stool from our desk or from our office. When we know that the client did a walkthrough with the move manager and signed off on everything. But that's why they do take pictures of everything, not just for, for the client to recreate the space, but to also protect liability from the space that's been vacated. So what separates this from a traditional mover is that we move people, not things. In a traditional move, all of the family's possessions are boxed up, loaded on a moving truck, and the boxes are unloaded. When an older adult is downsizing, the move is generally the smallest part of the process. I mean, if a client is moving from 2,500 square feet to 700 square feet, and that would be a fairly generous size apartment for senior living, the reality is that the majority of the client's possessions simply cannot go. And so senior move managers will provide, gentle, expert guidance, and they can help the older adult and their families make key decisions without the emotional and physical distress that can follow. And so as a result, older adults and their families can avoid costly mistakes, and remorse that often accompany such a major lifestyle change. We also, as an organization, offer stay-in-place services from a senior move management standpoint. So a lot of times working with older adults who are not quite ready to move, and they work up to the point of where CAPS really comes in. They will come in and organize and declutter. They have solid knowledge of, aging in place and universal design concepts. They are acutely aware of home safety and home modifications. So, we know as an organization that, most older adults don't want to move. And as we, see the onslaught of, older adults coming, getting older, living longer, many of them can't afford to move. And so through the NASMM at Home Specialist program, a lot of our move managers are now assisting clients with, the aging in place process to remain in their homes. They're trained to do both a home safety assessment and a client functional assessment to determine their needs, to help develop a thoughtful floor plan, organize and declutter, but then if necessary, engaging the services of a general contractor to make the necessary home modifications to allow that adult to remain safely in their home. And to understand assistive technology recommendations, everything from smart home technology to meals and transportation. And, I know for all of you who, are, actively involved in aging in place, the changes in technology and the services that are available. I mean, I remember when, the best thing you could get was Nutrisystem or Seattle Sutton, and now you can get something from Martha Stewart. You've got, Fresh Home. You've got all of these things that older adults can access to remain in their home longer. Although what we do know is that they will probably end up moving at some point. So from a move management standpoint, it's not just a one-off client, but it's a 1 and 2 and possibly 3-off client, depending on the level of service that they are moving to. So let's talk a little bit about senior move management and business types. Most of our members have come to this profession as a second or third career and have helped a parent or relative downsize and recognized how time-consuming, stressful, emotionally and physically difficult this type of move can be. There are many models of move management businesses. Some focus on primarily working with older adults, which would be the senior move management model, which this is how we started, and we just work with older adults. While other businesses have integrated move management into the existing business model. So we are seeing professional organizers, home stagers, realtors, non-medical home healthcare agencies, geriatric care managers, interior designers, and elder law attorneys that have added senior move management to their menu of services because for, a lot of reasons, it kind of keeps everything under one roof. So if you as a realtor are considering adding move management to your business, it's a great idea. And we're seeing a lot about it. So let's talk a little bit about this. As real estate agents, you are working with clients in all demographics. You may have moved a family multiple times, and now they're selling their family home and they want to downsize. So as I mentioned, we are seeing an influx of real estate agents who are adding move management services for this very reason. The family has a relationship with you already. They trust you. The relationship that is so essential in senior move management is already established. You already have customers. It is a natural progression if you want to expand your business. So how do you do this? All right, well, here's my little selling point. We recommend that you join NASMM. Invest in our industry-specific training and get started. We provide a wealth of resources from our members, from training and marketing to membership and industry standards and best practices. We have relationships with, major van lines, junk removal companies, technology companies. We also, if you're interested in expanding, you can purchase a 1-hour coaching call with me to discuss your business plans and how NASMM can assist. During this call, we will answer all of your questions about adding move management services, and we'll take you behind the scenes into the members only section of NASMM so you can better understand the resources, tools, support, and member benefits that NASMM membership affords. So just in terms of adding move management to your business, what is the investment? These are the costs. NASMM membership, $449 annually per company. If you have a partner, you have staff, they are all members underneath our umbrella, under your company umbrella, because we are a trade association. In terms of training, the cornerstone courses are $189. It's a 4-course bundle. It is required for all owners. Our front door training is our complete business development training program. That includes things like contracts, liability statements, but it also focuses on starting your move management business, understanding senior move management as it relates to the continuum of care. And obviously insurance, and then marketing materials, of which we provide plenty in our members only section. We find that with companies that are just starting out with move management, where you need to focus your dollars is on your website. Anything printed, your message is going to change considerably between, your first 6 months and your next 18 months. So we don't encourage you to spend a lot of money on that, but to focus your resources on your website. And then, the other kinds of tools that you might need. And those are going to vary. Are you going to have your vehicle wrapped? Do you need to purchase a vehicle to do this? Are you going to, everybody needs obviously step ladders and, drills and things like that. But, move managers, if they're doing packing, sometimes they will, purchase plastic bins or plastic totes, and they will sterilize those because it's a more green option. So there's, again, lots of different ways, but the investment generally is fairly small, especially when you have an established business. So, one more slide on adding move management to your business, just considerations. The biggest challenges for you if you decide to add move management will be defining your scope of service and hiring staff. Staffing is a huge issue for most small businesses these days, and move management is just not different. You cannot hire subcontractors or 1099s to work in this profession. It just doesn't meet the IRS standards. If you are telling subcontractors where to go, what to do, are providing them with as little as an apron, as a uniform or a name tag, you're using their tools. These are employees, not subcontractors, and you will put yourself in IRS jeopardy. We have seen it happen over and over where, a move manager's accountant didn't really understand the scope of the profession and said, oh yeah, you can use a 1099. No, not at all. The other thing that you're going to want to consider again is marketing and understanding senior move management as it relates to the continuum of aging services. And that's where training comes in. When you are talking about aging services, there are a lot of acronyms. People will talk about CCRCs and SNFs and, what do all of those mean? I've worked in aging services for, 3 decades now. And, one of the things that, I find to be horrifying is when someone calls a senior living community a facility. And none of us want to live in a facility. You need to really kind of check yourself, or when somebody says, oh, honey, how are you doing today? And I'm like, honey, I'm a mature professional woman. I'm not your honey. So, these are, understanding senior move management as it relates to the continuum of aging services is very important. Marketing. Where are you going to market your services? I know as a realtors, you all have your 30-second elevator speech. That becomes increasingly more important with move management. We can help you with your marketing at NASMM, but you are going to need to, find your circle of people. And that might be, the elder law attorney in your area, the geriatric care managers, social workers, discharge planners at hospitals, things like that, where you are, where you're marketing, senior living community marketing directors, those positions turn over like pancakes. If you met the marketing director 6 weeks ago, I'd check in again at 3 months because she or he may no longer be there. So as I said, just determining your scope of service is an important consideration. We require that you provide 4 out of 5 core services. We would actually prefer that you provide all of these services because we think that they're essential. And I'm not sure how you can be a move manager if you don't provide those services. But you'll notice that packing is not a core service. And I will tell you why. Packing involves liability for both your company, your client, and your staff. When you pack a box, it is considered packed by owner. You put that box on a truck. It is now out of your care and custody, and your insurance isn't going to cover it. If the box gets damaged in transit, the mover is not going to cover it because they didn't pack it. And there are all sorts of cost and efficiency issues to consider. Movers are trained in packing. Move managers overpack. You spend more money, more time. It's not to say that you don't need to be supervising the packing, as I talked about a little earlier, but you need to really consider the cost, the efficiency, and staffing if you're going to pack. And you also need to worry about workers' comp classification. If you look like a mover and smell like a mover, you're going to get classified as a mover, and you're going to have some serious premiums. That's the most expensive premium, is to have a workers' comp classification as a mover. I have a member who is in Pittsburgh, she's an organizing and photo organizing company, but on her website, it says that she packs, because she does, but they don't move. Her workers' comp went up $37,000 because an underwriter decided that she was a mover. Now, obviously, she's appealed that, and we have been supporting her with, documentation that she can go to the Pennsylvania Workers' Comp Board. But it's been a tough thing for her. So
We have about 5 more minutes before we wrap it up. I know you've got a couple more slides. And we want to get a few questions in there from anybody.
Okay, all right, sounds good. All right, so one more thing on packing. If you can't replace it at Target or Walmart, don't pack it. All right. So let's say you don't want to add move management services. How can you benefit from partnering with a senior move manager? All of our members must meet strict membership requirements, as I went over. They must carry insurance, general liability insurance at a minimum, but because we offer an insurance product to our members, the majority of them carry both general, business, and professional liability insurance and are bonded. They take courses on ethics and accountability, and then also, safety, the moving industry, contracts, risk, and liability. And they have all been screened for experience, and must provide references. So what can they do for you? You've got a client who has been in their home for 40 years. They can help your clients organize and declutter. They can coordinate, everything from the dispersal of unwanted items, handyman, cleaning, staging services. They are your go-to. So while you're working on marketing the sale of the home, they're helping you get the clients out of their home faster, so that the home, if necessary, if it needs to be recarpeted or painted and all of that, getting them out so that you can do that sooner. One of the things that you also need to realize is that our members are guided by our code of ethics. We have an ethics compliance commission, and this commission reviews and revises our code of ethics. Additionally, if there is a complaint, doesn't happen very often, but if there is a complaint, that is our basically our Supreme Court. They review complaints that may have been lodged against a member by either a client or another member, and they are here to review those and to make recommendations about next steps. Additionally, all NASMM members must always provide both a written estimate and a contract outlining the services and fees. Failure to do so is right off the bat a violation of our code. And then I'm going to skip over this because all of this is available on our website. Questions to ask when partnering with a senior move manager. Those are under our about section on our website. So if you go to NASMM.org and then go to about, you'll be able to find all of this information. Same with, these other questions. If you, maybe one more thing, how much does this cost? That's going to be, I'm sure, one of the questions. So it's next to impossible to calculate what a specific move might cost, as I sit here, in my office. But the national hourly fee for move managers is between $40 and $80 an hour. These fees can be much higher in areas like Boston, New York, Miami, San Francisco. Most senior moves take between 17 and 24 hours, not including the physical move. Most companies will charge by the hour. I would be wary of a company that comes in and says, I can do all of this for $3,500. I mean, they may offer a package, but within that package are flexibilities to do change orders and things like that, so that if the scope of the project becomes bigger, the client is kept abreast of the changes in cost at all times. And my last slide, how can you partner with a NASMM member? You can go to NASMM.org. You can send me an email at info@NASMM.org. You can call our office. So thank you.
Jennifer, thank you so much. I'm going to open it up to anybody that's on here to ask questions, because I would love for you guys to open up your mic. Please speak if there's any questions. Anybody?
I have a couple questions.
Okay.
Go for it, Crystal.
Hi. So are there any of these companies that are willing to get paid after the sale of the home?
Yes.
Home?
Yeah.
Okay, because that can be very valuable.
Right.
And are we able to partner without being a member? Like, can we still refer to clients?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. This is so
That's,
valuable.
by the way, that's why I bring on these specialists, because these are types of people that you want in your database and as your referral network for the senior homeownership in your area. This is why you become an expert in this niche. It's just very specific, but by having someone like one of the people in Jennifer's organization as one of those people, when you're sending out marketing material, maybe you can do real estate on one side and you can do them on the other. But it's a great partnership to have.
Very great partnership to have. It's such a natural synergy. Like I said, if you don't want to add this to your business, and some of you will want to, and many of you won't, but having that relationship with, frankly, every senior move manager in the market, because like I said, it's a relationship-based business, and you may not, you know your clients best, and you may know that, this move manager would probably be a better fit than this move manager. I mean, you'll know that just from the way that you refer other services now. You know who you like and you know who you don't.
Paula's asking something. I'm hoping she's going to open up her mic. Paula?
Hello, ladies. So yeah, I wanted to know how can I find local senior move managers?
So go to where are you located?
I am in Maryland.
Oh, you are in a hotbed of move managers. There's one on every corner.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, if you go to our website and go to the homepage, it will say find right there on the banner on the homepage, find us a senior specialty move manager. Click there, put in your zip code, and it will come up by the listing will come up by proximity to the zip code that you put in.
That is excellent. Currently here in Maryland, Howard County specifically, I have monthly meetings, monthly presentations where I go to senior centers, speaking to the members there. And each time I come in with another professional that is a part of my resource team. So we just did one with elder.
This is so perfect for those.
I'm sorry, say again.
Feel free to reach out to me too, because I do know the members in the area, and I sometimes will recommend, I mean, some people are good at presenting and other people just aren't. It's not that they're not good move managers, but we all have our strengths, right?
So that's exactly why I wanted to know who was here in Maryland, because now I have a second Senior Center and listening to the information here. This is absolutely valuable information that seniors would want to know because this is a great concern for them. So I would love to touch base with someone and set up a time that I could, speak with them and hopefully set up a date that we can go out to the senior centers and make a presentation about this.
Absolutely. Feel free to reach out to me and I can, make
Okay.
some recommendations.
Fantastic.
Eve, can you put Jennifer Pickett's information in the chat below? So anybody who wants to contact her, her information will be in the chat box for you guys. And Paula, definitely reach out to Jennifer. She's amazing. She really.
Okay, great. Yeah,
She
please put her
does.
information in.
Yeah. And by the way, so this is if you're putting on, stuff for senior centers or you're putting on at other places, YMCAs, wherever, this is a valuable, having somebody come in from this organization is valuable. We also have Aging in Place. We're going to get to that. Somebody from there is going to be coming in later down the line. So, but these are people that are good for your network, your referral network. Stephanie says, I have 25 years as assisted living and memory care executive administrator. I'm definitely practitioner on licensed life, health, Medicare supplement, and long-term care, life insurance, and realtor with being state of the service is so in my wheelhouse. And
Yeah,
thank
so
you.
sounds like it.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. You find your niche, we're of a generation where we don't have just one career. We're kind of like with a little of everything and just sprinkle a little love on top of it and have fun. Yeah. All right. I'm going to wish everybody a good night or where you are, because we're getting to be that time we're over. We welcome. Thank you so very much. Next Tuesday is Ted Butler, and it's going to be what the heck'em is a reverse mortgage. So we're going to talk all about reverse mortgages. We'll have the information down on Facebook and in Workplace. Thank you, Jennifer, so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for
I
having me.
appreciate it. From Amy, even myself, appreciate it for everybody being here. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for your
Thank you.
attention. Thank you.
Good night,
We'll talk to you
everybody.
soon. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.